Hi, this is Ophoria, the digital reader. Today I want to take a quick look at my iPhone 15 Pro and go through the apps I use as a digital reader. Some of them are apps everybody knows, but a few are ones I plan to do deeper dives on later this year, and I'll touch on those when I reach them. I mostly just want to show you what I actually keep on my phone and why. For context, my phone is my main entry device. If I'm entering data about books or pulling up reading information, 9 times out of 10 I'm doing it on my phone. That'll make more sense once you see some of the apps I'm using. I try to keep my phone simple, basically 2 screens max. If I ever spill past 2 screens, I audit what's there and either delete things or folder them. But for the apps I use constantly, I pull them out of my books and reading folder and put them on my first screen so I have easy access to them right away. Let's start with UpNote. I open UpNote 3 or 4 times a day. It doesn't seem like a digital reader app, but it's a huge part of how I manage my reading life. UpNote is a cross-platform note-taking app. It works on Android, iOS, Windows, and on Mac. And because you use an UpNote account, everything syncs across all devices automatically. Pricing-wise, you can subscribe for $1.99 a month, but they also offer a lifetime license for $39.99, which is always something I appreciate. If a service lets me buy once and be done, I'll do it. UpNote is also surprisingly scalable. You can just make simple lists, or you can go deeper with scripting, tags, and some automation. I personally don't do any scripting. I just use it mainly for 2 things. Planning my YouTube content. I keep a running list of all videos upcoming and all videos published. When something goes live, I check it off. And tracking my book series. I keep simple checklists for series I'm working through, like the Mercy Thompson series or all the World of Warcraft books, so I always know what I've read and what's next. It's simple, it's cross-platform, and it works the way I need it to. I'll probably do a full deep dive later in the year on UpNote. Next up is Bookshelf, Book Tracker, and List. I've talked about this one a lot on my channel. This has been my main reading tracker for about 2 years. It's extremely intuitive, shows stats I care about, and tracks what I need tracked. About 6 months ago, the iCloud sync started acting up. Entries wouldn't update unless I force quit a few times, so I just turned off iCloud sync entirely. I only use this app on my phone anyway, so that didn't affect me much. Even with its quirks, I love this app, mainly because of its interface and its stats. Next up is Book Tracker. Book Tracker has about 99% of the same features as Bookshelf, but with one big difference. It has a desktop interface. I don't use the desktop version as much as I expected to, but it's nice having the option. I still feel Bookshelf is a little bit more intuitive, and Bookshelf gives you pages per hour in the stats, which Book Tracker doesn't. You can calculate it manually, but I like having it built in. I may ask the dev to do it. My plan for 2026 is to primarily use Book Tracker and see if it wins me over. Right now I'm double entering into both because I'm attached to Bookshelf stats and layout. I'll probably do a deep dive on Book Tracker later on this year. And the last of the apps that are on my main screen for easy access is Reading Clock. Reading Clock does just one thing: it tracks reading time. Both Bookshelf and Book Tracker have built-in timers, but if you're starting and stopping constantly, they can accidentally unpause and inflate your reading time. Reading Clock doesn't allow pausing, only start and stop, and it keeps a history of every session so you can see your total for the day. I use this on days when I'm reading in fragments, in doctor's office, or if maybe I'm running errands or I'm waiting on my niece to get out of something. It gives me an accurate picture of how much I actually read time-wise. Now let's take a look at my books and reading folder. So first there's Audible. I don't buy books from Audible anymore, but I still have about 40 to 50 titles I haven't listened to yet, so I keep it installed until I finish those. Then I have Apple Podcasts, and I only have this for one show, Mythology. It's a fully casted retelling of mythological stories from all over the world: Indian, British, Native American, etc. Once I finish it, I'll delete the app since it's not my main podcast player. And my main podcast player isn't in my books and reading folder app, but I'll just jump to that real quick, and that's Pocket Cast. That's my actual podcast app. Nothing special to say about it, just a podcast player. But once again, I like it because it's cross-platform. But since it's not really digital reading, maybe a little bit adjacent on some podcasts, I'm not going to get too deep into that. Then there's Apple Books. I don't buy Apple Book titles, but I use the app for three things. MB4 audiobooks I purchase from third parties, PDF books, and PDF comic files. It syncs across devices for all of those files, which means I have it on all of my iOS devices, which is why I really like it. And for PDFs and PDF comic book files, and those are things that I very rarely use an ebook reader for. Then I have Reader, which redundantly is my RSS reader, and that's my News at a Glance app. I have feeds from IGN, Mac Rumors, and Philly News since I live in Philadelphia. It shows headlines and short snippets so I can skim what's going on without going down a rabbit hole. Then there's the Pocketbook Reader app. In my opinion, the Pocketbook Reader app may not be the most polished of the e-reader apps. I mean, Kindle is still the bomb when you're talking about e-reader apps, but I absolutely think it's one of the most versatile. It's free, it supports Pocketbook Cloud, Dropbox, Google Drive, Google Books, and Adobe DRM. If somebody wants one app that can read almost anything from almost anywhere, the Pocketbook Reader app is definitely one I would recommend. Next, we have Libby. I don't really think there's any explanation needed for Libby. If you're a reader, you know what Libby is. I would say the same thing about the Kindle app. If you're a reader, you have the Kindle app. I'm mostly using this for Send to Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. I love Send to Kindle for how cleanly it syncs reading progress across devices. And for Kindle Unlimited, I only use it when I get a deal on it. So basically, if I get a deal, I'll sign up, and then when that deal ends, then I'll just put all the books I want to read that are stuck on Kindle Unlimited in a wish list. And then next year, or whenever the next time is I get a deal, I'll sign up while I have the deal and catch up on my Kindle Unlimited books. And then I have Hoopla. And Hoopla is similar to Libby, except instead of waiting for holds, you get a certain number of monthly credit. For example, where I live at my library, we get 5 credits a month. If you're looking at Libby and you see a book that's like super popular and you go to put it on hold and it says it's like a 22-week wait, check Hoopla, because that's the nice thing about Hoopla is if there's a really popular book that has a long wait on Libby, usually you can go into Hoopla, use one of your credits, and you can get it instantly. That's really the main reason I use Hoopla. Hoopla does have music, it does have TV, it does have comics, but I find like their selection of those three things is pretty mediocre. So the main reason I keep Hoopla is for the I don't want to wait feeling when it comes to books. And then I use Yak Reader as my comic book reader. It reads PDF files, it reads CBZ files, and it reads CBR files, which are the main files you're going to be using for comic book format files. And the killer feature is its panel detection. If you open up a file and double tap on it, it automatically identifies panels so you can read panel by panel like Comixology used to and the Kindle app does now. It also imports from Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, Box, and your local computer. I'll be doing a deep dive on Yak Reader during Comic Book Month in July, which is basically in July I'm going to read nothing but comic books and talk about comic book type stuff for a digital reader. And last is Libro FM, my favorite audiobook platform overall. The reason I don't use the app heavily is that I usually buy audiobooks from Libro FM, download them to my computer, and then import them into Apple Books. But I keep the app for browsing and occasional listening. So those are the apps I use as a digital reader. Some pretty common, some you may not have heard of. If you're curious about any of the lesser known ones, ask in the comments. I'll be doing deeper dives on a bunch of these throughout 2026. This is Ofori, the digital reader, and keep reading.